Alright, listen up. Yeah, I know you probably weren't expecting somebody like me to talk to you straight like this, but hey, today's different. Today, you're gonna hear what nobody else ever had the guts or the honesty to tell you. So don't blink, don't overthink, don't flinch, just take it in. Because people out there keep whispering that he's a beast, right? A monster, a problem, a whole damn situation wrapped in flesh. They act like he's untouchable, like he walks through the world with no fear, like nothing can shake him, nothing can scar him, nothing can get inside that thick skull and rattle it. But you are the one thing that could break his ass for real. And the crazy part, you don't even realize the power you carry. You're sitting here telling yourself you're just trying, just living, just doing your best. While someone out there, someone everyone else fears, literally loses his mind at the idea that you might give up on him. See, you don't understand something fundamental about yourself. You move differently, you talk differently, you hit differently. And I'm not talking about physical punches. Relax. I'm talking about the way your presence rearranges people's insides. The way your existence makes certain people confront parts of themselves they've been running from for years. He's out there being a savage, a menace, a whole force of nature. But the second your name crosses his mind, boom, everything he built starts shaking. Because here's the truth you keep forgetting. You're not soft, you're not weak, you're not too nice or too emotional or too forgiving. Nah, you're the type of person whose absence hits harder than any punch, whose silence burns deeper than any scar, whose disappointment can take a man built like a monster and drop him to his knees without even touching him. Think about that for a second. The world fears him, but he fears losing you. Let that sink into your bones. Let it settle in the places inside you that people tried to convince you were empty. You know what people don't tell you? Power isn't always loud. It's not always violent. It's not always wrapped in big actions or dramatic moments. Real power, the kind that bends people's pride and ego, the kind that makes someone who's been untouchable suddenly feel exposed. That kind of power sits quietly inside you. It lingers in your loyalty. It hides in your consistency. It glows in your heart even when you feel like it's dimming. People like you, the ones who love deeply, fight silently, and move with real intention. You're the ones monsters fear. Not because you could destroy them physically, but because you could destroy them emotionally. You could make them feel something real in a world full of fakes, and that terrifies them more than bullets, more than enemies, more than failure. And you keep downplaying your power like it's nothing. You keep trying to shrink yourself, fit in, stay low maintenance, stay quiet, stay unproblematic. Meanwhile, the strongest people you'll ever meet are losing sleep over the thought of you not wanting them anymore. You don't realize what your presence does to people who have never felt seen before. You don't realize what your absence does to people who finally felt something real. You think he's a beast because of how he acts out there. Nah. He becomes a beast because he knows what losing you would do to him. Because you bring him a clarity the world stripped away. Because you remind him of the version of himself he thought died a long time ago. Because around you, he doesn't get to pretend. He doesn't get to hide. He doesn't get to posture like he's unstoppable. You stop him. You disarm him. You unmask him. And when someone like you has that effect on someone like him, that's when the whole world starts paying attention. Because beasts don't break easily. They don't fall apart for just anyone. They don't panic because of just any face. They don't shake because of just any goodbye. But you could ruin him. You could collapse his whole world with one decision, one moment of silence, one shift in your energy, one "I'm done." And he knows it. That's why he's careful with you in ways he isn't with anyone else. That's why he hesitates before saying something reckless to you. That's why he cares about how you see him more than how the whole damn world sees him. You ever wonder why someone so fearless becomes so vulnerable around you? Why someone so untouchable suddenly looks touchable only in your presence? Why someone who doesn't bow to pressure suddenly folds when you're disappointed? It's because you're not just another person in his life. You're the emotional kryptonite he can't outsmart. You're the one battle he can't win with aggression. You're the one force he can't dominate or control. You're the one truth he can't outrun. And here's the punchline nobody ever tells you. Being the one thing that could break him doesn't make you dangerous. It makes you precious, rare, irreplaceable. The kind of person life only hands out once. People like you don't come around twice. And beasts like him, they know that. They feel that. That's why he's terrified of losing you. Because deep down, he knows he'd survive everything except the day you stop believing in him. So stop acting like you're powerless. Stop acting like you're disposable. Stop acting like anyone could replace you. They can't. And he knows that better than anyone, even if he'd never admit it out loud. You're the reason his armor cracks. You're the reason his ego softens. You're the reason his soul wakes up. You're the reason the beast becomes human again. You're the one thing that could break his ass for real. And the one thing he'd do anything to never lose again. Because the truth is, you don't even see what you do to people. You walk around thinking you're just trying to hold it together, just trying to stay loyal, just trying to not fall apart again. And meanwhile, this man, this so-called beast, gets hit with a whole emotional earthquake every time you breathe in his direction. And it's wild, right? Everyone else is out here scared of him, flinching when he walks by, acting like he's some walking warning sign. But you're the only one who makes him feel like he's standing on unstable ground. You're the only one who makes him rethink his tone, his choices, his whole damn personality. He'll never admit it, but you can literally see it in his eyes when he looks at you. There's this tiny flicker like, "Please don't disappear on me." That kind of power. You don't stumble into it. You are it. It's embedded in your energy, in your presence, in the way you listen without judging, the way you care without broadcasting it, the way you show up even when you're tired. People like him. They're not built to receive love that pure. It exposes every weak point they've been hiding behind all that toughness and bravado. You ever notice how he gets quiet around you? How his voice drops, how his shoulders loosen, how his whole tough guy shtick melts the second you say his name, with that tone. That's not softness, that's surrender, and he only does that with you, even if he pretends it's nothing. He's terrified you'll realize the extent of your pull. He's terrified you'll look at him one day and think, yeah, I don't want this anymore. Because he knows damn well that your detachment would hit harder than any bullet life could throw at him. He can fight enemies. He can survive chaos. He can outsmart danger. He can handle pressure. But he can't handle the idea of you choosing not to care. That's the one battlefield where he loses every time, and he knows it. And you've been sitting here underestimating yourself like you don't change the whole emotional climate of the people who get close to you. You think you're too much or hard to love, or complicated. But what you really are is impactful. You're the type of person who doesn't just touch someone's life. You rearrange it. You make people confront themselves, evolve, grow. And that scares the hell out of them, because growth hurts. Especially for someone who built their whole identity around being unshakable. And it's crazy how you think you're the fragile one. You think you're the one who's easy to break, easy to manipulate, easy to overlook. Meanwhile, the strongest person in the room folds emotionally every time they feel you pulling away even a little bit. That's not fragility. That's influence. That's emotional gravity. That's power they can't replicate, can't replace, can't forget, even if life drags them across concrete. You're the one thing he can't control. He can intimidate the world, but he can't intimidate you. He can scare the hell out of people, but he can't scare you into staying. He can dominate every room he walks into, but he can't dominate how you feel about him. You stand there, unintentionally holding the one card he can't play himself. The card that decides whether he keeps the part of himself he only ever shows you, or whether he loses it forever. And you wonder why he watches you so closely, why he listens to your words even when he pretends he's tuning you out, why he circles back after arguments, why he cares what you think, even when he's acting like he doesn't. It's because you're not like the world he fights every day. You're the part of him he never thought he deserved, but somehow ended up needing more than anything. You're the reminder that he's still human under all that armor, and that scares him more than anything he's ever faced out there. This is why he acts different with you. This is why he calms down when you speak. This is why he tries, even when he swears he's done trying. This is why he stays, even when he's convinced he's better off alone. Because what he feels around you isn't weakness, it's exposure. And exposure is dangerous for someone who built his life on never letting anyone get close enough to see the cracks. You're the only one who sees the cracks. You're the only one he'll let see them. You're the only one who can widen them or heal them. You're the only one whose choices rearrange his entire emotional structure. You're the only one who could break him without lifting a finger. With just one shift in your energy, one withdrawal of affection, one change in the way you look at him. And he knows it every time he looks at you, every time he waits for your reaction, at every time he catches himself caring too much, every time he feels that panic in his chest when you go quiet, every time he realizes you're the only person who hits the part of him he swore nobody would ever reach. And, it hits him in ways he'll never admit out loud. Because admitting it would mean confessing that you're the only person alive who could actually hurt him. Not physically, emotionally, spiritually, internally. Right in that place he's boarded up, welded shut, and buried under 10 layers of attitude and trauma. And you don't even try. That's the wildest part about all of this. You're not manipulating anything. You're not playing games. You're not out here weaponizing your presence. You're just being you. You show up with that calm energy, that quiet look, that I'm here but I'm not gonna force myself into your chaos vibe. And suddenly this man who scares everybody else is stumbling emotionally like he forgot how to stand upright. He'll walk through fire for things that don't matter, but he'll walk on eggshells for you because you matter. And he doesn't know how to act around someone whose opinion could collapse him from the inside out. You ever catch the way he double-checks your expression when he says something harsh? He can curse out the world without blinking. He can talk reckless to anybody, but the second he thinks he hurt you, his whole demeanor switches. His voice drops. His ego shrinks. His eyes soften. He tries to pretend he doesn't care, but his body language betrays him every single time. Because losing your respect? Yeah, that's the kind of hit he wouldn't recover from. He'd rather take a punch to the face than feel you disconnect emotionally. He'd rather be betrayed by 10 people than see disappointment in your eyes once. He'd rather fight 1,000 battles than fight the feeling of you drifting. And he's never had that before. People fear him, people obey him, people follow him. But you don't fear him, you don't obey him, you don't shrink for him, you don't fall apart just because he raises his voice. You stand there with that, okay, but why are you talking to me like that? Look, and that alone destabilizes him more than any enemy ever has, because he doesn't know what to do with someone who sees through the armor he's been hiding behind his whole life. You're the one person who makes the mask useless. You're the one person who talks to the human underneath the beast, the human. He doesn't trust anyone else to see the human. He probably doesn't even trust himself to be. And it's not even about romance or drama or whatever storyline people try to project. It's deeper. It's that soul-level recognition that freaks him out. It's that emotional clarity you bring without trying. It's that sense of being understood without liking the feeling of being understood, because, understanding makes him vulnerable, and vulnerability makes him feel exposed. He'll go toe-to-toe with demons he created. He'll confront ghosts from his past. He'll bite back at critics and enemies. But he won't know how to respond to you saying, "That hurt me," in a soft voice. Because that's the kind of pain he can't armor up against. That's the kind of pain he can't fight with fists or rage. That's the kind of pain that forces him to look inward. And inward is where all the stuff he's been avoiding actually lives. And he hates that you can take him there. Not out of resentment, out of fear. Fear of being seen, fear of being known, fear of being held accountable emotionally by someone he actually cares about. You think he doesn't care? He cares in ways that keep him up at night, replaying conversations you forgot about hours ago. He cares in ways that mess with his appetite, his patience, his mood. He cares in ways that make him check the phone twice, then pretend he doesn't care about the notification he's hoping is yours. He cares in ways that make him reevaluate his whole personality when you fall silent for too long. And, if you ever pulled away for real. Not the "I'm tired" version, not the "I need a break" version, but the real detachment, the real shutting down, the real, "You don't get that part of me anymore." Yeah. That would wreck him. Not because he's weak, but because you are the only person who touches that hidden emotional wiring he swore nobody would ever access. You're not just the one thing that could break him, you're the only thing that makes him feel alive enough to even fear being broken in the first place. And every time he looks at you, he feels that truth tightening around his ribcage in a way he can't control, and it terrifies him in a way the world never could. And, it's wild because you don't even realize half the time when you hit him in those places he hides from the whole world. You'll just say something casually. Nothing crazy, nothing deep, just honest. And it's like you accidentally opened a door inside him he's been barricading for years. He'll act normal on the outside, nod his head, maybe give that little half smirk he uses to hide how much something actually affected him. But inside he's spiraling, replaying your words, dissecting them, trying to figure out why his chest suddenly feels too tight. And it's not because he's soft. He's not soft with the world. He's soft with you in ways he can't control. That's the part he can't stand admitting, even to himself. This whole beast persona, that's survival mode, that's trauma armor. That's him doing whatever he had to do to not get eaten alive by life. But when it comes to you, none of that armor stays on. It falls off without you even touching it. And that level of emotional nakedness? Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes someone like him feel unsteady, off balance, human, in a way nobody ever prepared him for. He'll hear your voice and suddenly the rage he had a second ago dissolves. He'll see your name pop up and his entire body does that little shift. Like he's bracing for impact, but wanting it at the same time. He'll argue with you and pretend he's fine afterward, but that argument will sit in his stomach for days because he can handle conflict with anybody except you. Your disappointment hits him where fear used to live. And it's almost funny how he tries to hide it. He'll act like he's busy or cold or detached, thinking you won't notice. But the moment he senses you're actually pulling away, everything changes. His voice changes. His approach changes. His energy shifts, like he's internally grabbing onto something before it slips through his fingers. You have to understand, he's not scared of rejection in general. He's been rejected before. He's been betrayed, abandoned, underestimated, all of it. He's numb to most of that by now. But losing you? That's different. That hits a part of him he doesn't have defenses for. You're the only thing he can't prepare for emotionally, because you're the only person he never built a shield against. And it's because you walked into his life without trying to change him, without trying to compete with him, without trying to dominate him, without shrinking or being intimidated, and without feeding the ego he uses to protect himself. You talked to him like a human when everyone else treated him like a threat. You showed him softness without weakness. You offered understanding without excuses. You gave him patience without letting him walk all over you. You cared without begging. You listened without judging. You held him accountable without humiliating him. Nobody ever did all that at once. Nobody even came close. And, that's why you got under his skin the way you did. That's why you stayed there. That's why your absence would destroy parts of him he's not ready to face. Because you don't just matter to him. You stabilize parts of him he didn't know were wobbling. You calm storms he pretended didn't exist. You reach emotions he swore were dead. You trigger insecurities he buried so deep he forgot where he put them. You pull out humanity he thought he lost. He hates that. He loves that. He's terrified of that. He needs that. And the craziest part is, he knows you could break him on accident. Just by changing your tone. Just by going quiet. Just by pulling back. Just by caring a little less than you did yesterday. Just by choosing yourself in a moment where he expected you to choose him. You don't have to yell. You don't have to threaten. You don't have to leave. You don't have to slam doors. Your emotional distance alone could shatter him in places nothing else ever reached. Because you're not his weakness. You're his mirror. And he's terrified of what he sees in it. And even more terrified of losing the one reflection that makes him feel like there's still something worth fixing inside him. And, it's the way you look at him that really gets under his skin, even when you don't realize you're doing anything at all. You give him that steady, evaluating look, nothing judgmental, nothing dramatic, just that quiet, I see you energy. And it hits him in a place he didn't even know was reachable. Everybody else looks at him with fear, or admiration, or hate, or envy. You're the only one who looks at him like he's a person, not a threat or a headline or some unbreakable creature made of steel.